Any percent by Cadarev.
Oh, that's me. I also have some support.
Hi.
Two veteran runners of this game. I mean, Kayumon is. So, but yeah, we have Tokoloni1 who will support me whenever he can. So
Salut.
always. And Kayumon. Maybe
Of course I will do too.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, this is Angel of Darkness. This is a rather infamous entry in the series. Maybe we will see why, maybe we won't. You have time already? Good. 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Paris, and this is a game. Let's see if it works. Yes, this works perfectly fine. So we're now in the in a unfinished development area. So as you were able to see, I kind of crouched through the door. This is perfectly fine. As is climbing invisible blocks and.
I think I see a door up there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, perfect, right? Yeah, good. Okay, and then you're here, and I kind of want to use this elevator. So I just use it. That's good. And then we go up. So yeah, you saw probably the 3 most important glitches already. So first we had the crouch saving glitch. So if you crouch down in front of a wall or a door, and Lara starts to lean forward, you want to save and load, and the momentum kind of pushes her through whatever you're leaning against. So that's useful. Then you saw me jump into an invisible wall, and yeah, so basically what happens, short version is the game divides by 0, and you kind of hit every trigger on the map, including the level end trigger, like here. And this also brings us to the most important part of the run. So this is the conversation with Mademoiselle Carvier.
The streets are not safe anymore.
Mademoiselle Carvier, I have just come from Werner's apartment.
And how is Werner?
I'm afraid Werner is dead. Can I get you anything?
Thank you.
How was Werner killed? What happened?
It's all a bit vague.
So yeah, basically this is the only part where you will ever hear anything about the lore. It's very
He
important.
said he tried to contact
We can give her polite and less polite answers. As long as we only give her at most one impolite answer, she will give us the notebook which will we need to proceed to the game.
acting strangely.
If we give her 2 or more, we will have to retrieve it ourselves, which is slower.
Who was the commission from?
The client's name
So,
was Erica.
yeah, while we're at it, as you can tell, we're playing in English. English for any percent is the fastest version, because language actually does affect the length of
Were you
conversations.
able to help him?
So you could play in German. It's, I think, overall 6 seconds slower, so it's nothing,
Werner
you know,
didn't scare
huge.
easily.
But
He felt he was being
oh well.
stalked.
He could well have been. The monster
Also,
is
what we
running
saw
around
there
Paris. According
before
to the
this,
press.
I mean, this will go on for a while. When I gained access to the elevator, let's say, I used the stealth mechanic, which was introduced in
If he
this
left
game.
his notebook,
And if
He
there is
was
kind of a seam between 2 areas of the level, you
there was
can
gunfire.
stealth through
That's
it.
all I can recall.
We will see this again at the end of the run, which
Then
will
we shot.
not be too long from now.
Did you kill
Did
him?
you kill him?
I can't remember.
It's all a
It's all a
blur.
blur.
Miss Croft, I strongly suggest that you talk to the police.
Mademoiselle, I was a good friend of Werner's. I didn't kill him.
Maybe you
I
paid
didn't.
attention, but Lara does a very good job
Do you
at
have the notebook?
pretending
I
not
do.
to have killed Werner.
so
She does a very good job.
Then I suggest you give it to me now.
She in fact never killed
She
Werner.
never killed
You
Werner.
say you don't remember clearly.
What you will
what
also see sometimes
Perhaps
is
the
me
police
Alt
are
F4ing
right in
and then
suspecting
cancelling out of the
I
exit
never
game
killed
screen,
Werner.
like
I think
after
you better
this
leave, Miss Croft.
conversation right here. Basically what happens is the game forgets that there was a cutscene going on, so you just kind of completely skip it. Like here I will do the same. Usually there would be a cutscene showing that Lara's now in an abandoned train, which you exit by jumping into a wall. And since we're in Paris, you know, very important, we should visit the Louvre, because, you know, beautiful art and stuff. And you may not have been there, so just let me tell you, you definitely gain access to the Louvre by going through the sewer system. And you go into the sewer system by jumping into walls, I guess. I was in Paris, I can confirm.
The Paris experience right here.
Looks like
Oops.
Yeah, right.
Looks like a way out. I mean, she's not wrong.
I think.
And this is how you get out of a sewer system.
Well, at least it's.
So the
clean.
problem with this trigger bug where we jump into walls is we also can hit some less useful triggers other than the level end trigger, including death triggers. So that's why I can't really jump into the wall right here. I have to proceed a bit further down the level. and try to safe crouch into this wall, which I didn't. And this could be a bit annoying because the guy behind me can be a bit mean. Let's try again. There we go. This might actually work for the swan dive strat. Let's see. Perfect.
Ah, nice.
Very nice.
So this actually requires a pretty precise position there when you go through the wall. It saves a bit of time, but it doesn't, like, it's not a huge time loss. If you don't get it, you can still just walk along the edge there. And now we're in a deloaded area. We're not out of bounds. There's still collision, and sometimes you can see a texture here and there. But the problem is we have to proceed down the level, and I missed the... there we go. So now, as you can clearly see, we go down some stairs. Just trust me. And this is actually where you can lose quite a bit of time in like PB attempts, because going downstairs or upstairs is incredibly slow. And once you lose momentum, Lara will not be able to do running jumps again. And as we also all know, is that in the Louvre there is a digging site where they dig for stuff. I don't know, because I will just get out again by jumping into a wall. Good.
Yeah.
And now we just run out of the Louvre. It's like, okay. So I think this was the full Paris experience. We can kind of wrap this up. En bouge plus, okay. Whatever that means. So this guy we kind of want to block. He can push us out of here because obviously I need to jump into this archway. So now I'm at the apartment of my former mentor, who may or may not be Werner von Croy. You okay? No. And here I kind of want to work out because like jumping all the time is a bit slow. I want to sprint, so I kick in the door.
My legs feel stronger.
Easy. And now I want to get out of here. In this stage we have kind of a boss fight, which has multiple where you have multiple encounters. But if you like kind of go around the first trigger, you can just jump straight to the last one. Yeah, there we go. Because that's how you use a bookcase. So this is where like the second part of the fight would take place. But yeah, I just go through the wall. I pick up a more powerful weapon here. You can also do this part with Werner's handgun, which you can pick up faster, but it is also a lot weaker. And we will use the weapon later on. Like both ways are about the same speed, but I prefer this one. And you can see more of the apartment. And more of this loading screen. There we are. And now we go straight to the final part of the boss fight, which will be very exciting, because this game has an amazing combat system where you hold the action button. And then you win.
What a rather close call, but nicely done.
Okay, so now we come to a rather infamous part. We will have a conversation with an NPC that can softlock at any voice line. So I will do this once. If it softlocks, I will do the skip of it. Maybe we will see. So we're now in Prague. Luckily, we have Catalyst here, who is from the Czech Republic, who can definitely attest to that this is exactly like Prague looks like. Good, thank you.
Your mind about the Strahov
Okay, let's see.
Yes, I thought I'd give you another chance. But I want the story, the events in Paris, and whatever happens here.
It's a deal, Luddick.
This passcode will get you into the warehouse area. It's only a low-level pass, but at least you'll be inside the complex.
I can take it from there. Have you tried this code yourself?
Me? No, the place gives me the creeps. Workers have gone missing and all kinds of spooky stuff.
What goes on in there?
God knows. I'd give my innards to find out. But it's way too gothic for me. If you uncover anything, give me first shot at it, huh?
Sure thing. Let's talk in the car.
The Strahov isn't far.
Huh?
No. Sorry. Okay. So now we're in the Strahov, and this is the enemy base.
Fitting to this, I would have a donation.
Go for it.
$5 donation by Tekwa. Hey Cadarev, good luck on the run, and don't forget, the Strahov isn't far.
That is true. I'm literally in the Strahov right now. I was in Prague, I visited Catalyst, and we actually were in the Strahov district. And yes, this is basically what it looked like. So now I have to get through some lasers, and that's a bit of a problem because they damage me. Also, a bit of a problem is that this game can crash easily, so we'll see about that. It didn't crash, okay, good.
Have you tried just walking through walls and lasers things?
I mean, this works as well.
Oh yeah, okay, I guess.
Yeah. So what I did there is what we call leg break. If you grab in midair at this like certain geometries, Lara's leg will basically extend across the entire map, and you can pick up items across, you know, the entire map. Lara will then start walking towards them, and while you're in that animation, Lara is invulnerable. Here I want to try and land on this ledge because I need to trigger an enemy that drops a keycard that I need to exit this level. And there you saw me do what we call a moon jump. So if you do a jump and quick save, quick load shortly after you leave the ground, you can extend the vertical range of your jump. And otherwise I would not have been able to grab that ledge there. And this is the keycard that I need. And again, I hope you enjoyed this amazing combat. I think this was actually the last one. I mean, what? And then I need to get up here through the railing. Oh wait, actually there's another guy in here. I forgot. Sorry. Misinformation. Hi. So luckily he dropped the ammo right in between the door frame. So now I can pick it up and go through the door. And then hope to not get a death trigger here. Good. So since I walked through the lasers on my way here, they basically all got triggered except for this pair here that I need to skip, I guess, the intended way, kind of. Exciting. Also, as you can tell, if you alter 4, the music kind of is gone. So, oops. And now we go into the bio-research lab. There will be like a longer flyby cutscene. You actually can't really skip cutscenes once they start most of the time. Also, there is a NPC to the left there that gives you a 5-minute conversation, so kind of don't want to talk to him. But I want to get through this door. I wonder how I could do that. Oh. So yeah, here we get the flyby cutscene, and afterwards I will do a similar thing that I did in Louvre. I will try to go into a deloaded area, and that means you will basically not see anything again. A big part of like achieving faster times in this run is kind of memorizing and reacting to how Lara reacts to the geometry and the collision in the deloaded areas. So let's hope that kind of goes well. I don't know, we'll see. Also an enemy, I guess. We'll see. So my goal is to crouch glitch through that door up ahead. Oops. Yeah, as you can see, standing jumps are kind of slow. I will back up safe here in case the enemy kind of throws me off. That looks good. And now we have to go to the lower floor, like that. And now let's see how this goes. This makes sense. I did not see this in Prague, but I'm sure it's somewhere. I didn't understand that, sorry. Now I did. So I'm clearly on a pipe right now, and I'm trying to jump onto another pipe that is on a higher level. And for that I do some more moon jumps, but this time to the side, which also extends my range in that direction. There we go. Now this is a bit of a tricky jump, but that's fine. And yeah, so now Lara kind of wants to take a break, I guess. So let's see how she does that. First of all, I need to get out of this level by whatever. And yeah, then we kind of play as Nathan Drake, I guess. Hello. This is a preview of our final run at the marathon. This is exactly what it will look like, I think. So yeah, this is Curtis, and this is actually the first, or I guess the only Tomb Raider so far where you could play as someone else than Lara. He basically controls the exact same as Lara, except he can't sprint and he can't swim or swan dive. But what he can do really well is crouching. So good, in fact, that you don't even have to save and load to go through stuff. You can just crouch in front of them, and here we go again. That was almost what I wanted. So Curtis's part is supposed to be more combat-oriented. At least in this first part, you will not see too much of that, because we're already approaching the end part of that. This door I used to get in a preset location. Here I will do another leg break. So I can pick up an ammo at the other end of the map and pass through a lot of walls, which you can't see, but trust me, they're there. So sometimes you can see the camera be a bit weird. That's whenever we go through a wall. And here we pick up the ammo. You can kind of see a red blinking there, yes. And now we need to trigger a cutscene before we can trigger the level end. And somewhere here should be a ledge. Nice. Okay, now we just need to get into a somewhat precise location. And hope for the best. Good, perfect. So that brings us to maximum containment area. This is another rather infamous level in the game, because this is where the combat part actually comes into play. So here we will fight, it's actually not even a mini-boss, it's kind of a boss. The Proto, so this is kind of an experiment gone wrong. It's
this game, or?
Legit question. So I haven't really talked about that. As you can see, this game, has some problems, one might think. To be fair, like for speedruns, we are, or at least for any %, we are using the most broken version of the game. We actually downpatch the game, and we use an executable that is even like more finicky than the rest, which means, yes, the game can crash basically even more, but we also get access to some very helpful things like the trigger bug. So this is the reason why we can jump into walls and, teleport all over the map. But even then, like, playing this game casually, most people experienced some difficulties, I guess. So after this game, there was like a 3-year break before the next Tomb Raider game, and the development team was completely switched, so I guess they weren't too happy with this. And here we have the aforementioned Proto fight. This is clearly the climax of the game, because the music is just absolutely blowing me away. And also like the atmosphere, like I'm really sweating. You can see how much damage I took already. So the Proto has 4 phases. I already did the first one there. They're all the same. Basically it drops down in one of 3 locations. So one is where I'm looking at right now, out of these shafts. But it shows one of the 2 slower ones, which is behind me above the bridge. Then it drops down, you shoot it some, it's KO'd. You wait for it to not be KO'd anymore, you shoot it some more, and then it starts over again. So now it's KO'd, I have to wait, and you kind of get the drill. Yes, exciting.
My heart is literally pounding.
Are there any questions? I have some time now. So the best thing you can get here is 3 close spawns. So you saw it go into the shaft to the right, then it will drop out on the left. You want to have 3. Okay, this actually I think it. No, it didn't. It just looked like it. So this is again a slow spawn. So you want 3 fast spawns, and then on the very last cycle, or the last phase, there is actually an occurrence where the Proto is already dead after it is KO'd for the first time. So now it's KO'd, and usually it would get up, but on the last phase, if you're lucky, actually it's already dead then. So that's like the biggest time save, and basically when you grind runs for any %, that's like what you're really grinding for, is a good Proto, because the rest kinda is consistent. So far, not too lucky of a Proto fight, since we got 2 slow spawns.
Speaking of, how good is Proto in world record anyways? You remember?
I think it's not the best possible, but I mean, at this point, world record kind of needs a fast Proto, which means the final phase you need the fast death. But I think it's somewhat lucky, so I think 2 fast spawns maybe out of 3.
Right, yeah.
Couldn't tell for sure. Also, I think this is the last phase, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Well, it's definitely not a fast Proto, even if it was, but I think this is the last phase. We'll see. I'm clearly paying attention. Yeah, it is, okay. So that was Proto, and that was also the end of Curtis's part. And immediately the difficulty will be ramped up to an extreme. So the next part is the aquatic research area, which is the most technical of all levels in this run. I hope you enjoyed that area of the run. So now we're swimming, okay. And since we're swimming, I think one thing we haven't done yet is swim out of bounds, so that sounds like a legit thing to do. So first I have to get an area where I can do that, and then we will actually swim into the level end trigger. So that's already loaded, just the textures aren't. But somewhere on this map there are actually 2 level exit triggers because there is supposed to be another boss fight in between. But if you maneuver somewhat carefully, you will hit the correct one. So let's see if I can get that. But first I have to get out of bounds, which, as you might assume, is not too difficult in this game. Who knows? So this is an invisible wall, and if I crouch save correctly here, yeah, I will just crouch through that. And then you want to kind of have a good angle to do a swan dive in here, because there is a tunnel system you saw before, and you kind of want to land in between the tunnels, but still out of bounds in the water. And now you just kind of swim into a general direction and hope you end up in a useful place. Now that looks okay. Over here somewhere. Yeah, that looks okay. Hi, Curtis. Bye, Curtis. And that's the second to last level in the run. For this part, you're supposed to have the final leg upgrade, which gives you a long jump. Sadly, I don't have that, but I have a moon jump, which sounds even cooler. So this is where I once again will load in midair, or save and load, to extend my range. And as you can see, also the animation for the door resets. Cool. Oops. And here is some more platforming. This makes sense. And then there's actually a trap up here that I want to skip, because I don't know how to do this legitimately. But this works, so it's good. And then we're actually already in the final level after this cutscene. This one I can't skip. But yeah, we were coming up to the final boss, so you also might get ready on time. I mean, it's not super urgent.
I shall reach for this button far away.
What could that mean? But yeah, obviously, final boss fight should be really intense. For my fingers, I mean, what? Here's the aforementioned occurrence of another stealth glitch. So this door you're supposed to open by doing some puzzles with some files that I forgot how to do. So let's just stealth through it. Since I didn't take damage before, I can kind of do... Yeah, there you see, you can kind of speed this up, since sliding down the slope is really slow. And this is the final boss area. And there's definitely no meaning behind me Alt F4ing out here while it's fading out. And yeah, let's see.
I wonder if we're in Eckhart's lab right now. I'm not sure on that one.
Should be time. So yeah, there's supposed to be multiple stages to this fight. First, there's a very, very slow stage at the start, where basically you can completely do nothing by just crouching and he never hits you. Thank you. And then the second part, you're supposed to like evade the enemy and go to the very top. But luckily they already had the level end trigger at the very top, so you just moon jumped into it. So that's nice. But yeah, that's Angel of Darkness. Clearly the best and most cherished game in the series. After this it was all downhill. Yeah, I guess that's about it. We still have one more Tomb Raider run tomorrow. No, Sunday, sorry. Which will be Tomb Raider Underworld. But yeah, that's about it for me. And next up is Toka with the Ponya too.
I guess.
Have fun with that, I guess. But yeah, thank you very much as well on the couch, and have fun.